My friends and I were driving to a bullfight. Soon we were to witness an extravaganza of courage and violent struggle ending in death. Not a make-believe theatrical act, but in a veritable bloody demise. We males of the baby boomer generation were young bulls once, then simply bulls, and now we've become aging bulls. The wild, accelerating gallop of our youth changed into a painful middle-aged trot, and even that's been more tiring lately. We are about to enter the arena for the fight of our lives, too. Later that day, as I was watching the toros making their desperate charges, the stubborn thought lingered in my mind. Is there a way to skip that ominous exit ramp? Not to make a complete getaway, gosh no, but maybe we could stay in the fast lane a bit longer? Perhaps till the next freeway junction. Later that night, we resolved. We, aging bulls of the 21st century, are not going to take that damned exit like a bunch of pushovers. Hell no. We won't walk quietly to a glue factory. If a new service road must be built, we'll do just that. Every generation before us had its aging bulls to throw a tantrum and to take a stand, even if the final outcome was never in doubt. We should do better. We've been pretty good at getting what we wanted, at least so far. Take Ponce de Leon, for example. A proper conquistador, de Leon had been commissioned by the King of Spain to find gold. Instead, he kept crashing through the Caribbean bush in search of the Fountain of Youth, until the locals had enough of the commotion and calmed him down with a well-placed arrow. Although he discovered Florida and Puerto Rico and at one point even dug out a bit of gold for his king, old Ponce never found what he needed most, his youth. He died at 61, before senility could tame his rapacious nature. In fairness to him, he did no worse than alchemists or anybody else who tried to run his personal odometer backward. Even Satan himself managed to produce only temporary and unsatisfactory results to find rejuvenation, as Dr. Faustus' sad story illustrates. But we are firmly in the 21st century now. Supercomputers, gene sequencing, nanotechnology, all of these astounding scientific breakthroughs. Do they count for nothing? Are we, the baby boomers, going to fail just like the barely literate conquistador 400 years ago, despite all of this? No one ever had a better chance to leave the arena victorious. We are going to make a spirited charge. I don't want to be ungrateful. Compared to our fathers, we do get about an extra 10 years to live. It's not a bad start, but how much is this gain really worth? An extra decade looks like a peachy deal until one visits an old folks' home. This aging bull had been to such institutions on more than one occasion. Mostly, I felt deeply saddened, upset by the lucky survivors' humiliating disability as they were waiting for their rest in peace. If my extra 10 years are going to be spent in similar conditions, I don't consider them worth the trouble. I'm not going to make my deals for that. Mephistopheles need not bother. I'd rather dive off the deep end of my middle age and keep my soul. Unless some meaningful improvements to my life's quality are thrown into the bargain. Perhaps there might be some room for a deal after all. Mr. Mephistopheles, don't give up on me yet. Now, I'm not going to demand anything outrageous, Miracles are welcome, but hopefully will not be necessary. I prefer the straightforward, honest science. The black magic will be accepted, but only under the most exceptional circumstances. Forget the immortality. All I want to talk about is those 10 years that my father could not have. But, and this is my bottom line, they have to be substantially upgraded. The 10 extra years of personal fitness is what I wish to bargain for. I want to extend my fit span, and I'm prepared to pay a top price for it. My lifespan, even my health span, yeah, I don't want to shorten them, but I won't pay much for them either. And since we're going to work on my body anyway, perhaps one or two things, whichever were its greatest features, well, we could maybe improve upon them now. Why not aim high? Before any work is started to build my bypass around my exit ramp, I have to find out what the pitfalls are that I must avoid. In other words, I need an answer to the question, what makes a man an old man? This being a crucial determination, I want an outside, impartial opinion from a well-informed source. No need to hesitate about the choice of consultants. Who knows us better than women?
What makes a man an old man?
I think it's an individual's decision whether or not they're getting old. So if you're 30 and choose to act like you're old and decrepit, then you're going to be. If you're, an older person and try to stay young and active and engaged and intellectually stimulated, then you'll remain as young as you choose to be.
Are you enjoying life? Or is it all over?
It's just that vitality, whether they're active, involved, look engaged.
An attitude, an old attitude, as opposed to a young, energetic, vivacious attitude.
No sense of humor. Losing his sense of humor.
Inflexibility.
Yeah, an old mind that won't learn new things.
Oh, a number of things. A bad back, saggy skin, lack of muscles.
Posture. Their stature, the physical position, how they hold themselves, how they walk. Are they humped? Are they striding? And then, of course, we notice our hair gets lighter when they get older. But then, if you could see the spirit, there's a very youthful spirit in many people that you might have labeled as older. But once you see that spark, then it doesn't feel that way.
I think the physical things come with your decision whether or not you want to be old. If you're young at heart, if you will, you're going to maintain a physical appearance that's healthier because you're more active and more, able and willing to participate in things outdoors or otherwise.
Mental acuity and so on. And so I think definitely as that dulls, it gives the impression of someone less able to participate. Yeah.
When they start looking for their teeth and they have them on, for their dentures, and they still have them on.
It can. It can. Yeah. It doesn't have to. It doesn't necessarily. Yeah. That definitely enters the equation of when you first meet someone. Yeah, that's definitely there is that, right?
It's something you can videotape? Pinching women's butts and thinking they can get away with it.
When they start looking at other young, pretty, skinny, well-dressed girls instead of their wives.
I'm pleased with the neighborhood panel's judgment. None of the ladies requested that I swim the English Channel, at least one way, or learn Metallica lyrics by heart, or given evidence of my great romantic prowess. A men's magazine opinion could be quite different. Just to be sure, I ask the same question of someone with a practical knowledge of the male body's inner working.
I think that looks can be very deceptive. A car can have a brand new coat of paint and hide a lot of damage within the engine and a lot of rust, and our body is no different than that. When I look at a patient and try to determine how old they actually are, I look at the sum of their environmental exposures, their personal exposures, alcohol use, smoking, any street drugs, etc., that may actually cause damage to the body. And then there's a whole realm of other medical conditions that I look at to see whether they're well managed or not well managed, how many medications the person is taking. And I also look at what their lifestyle is. Are they sedentary? Are they active? All of these things play together to truly give you an idea of how old the person is. No test is going to 100% tell you how long you're going to live, because we have personal choices and personal freedoms. And those decisions and choices we make can alter our future health.